Hey, what's up, you amazing hackers? Uncle Rat has got a treat for you. You're about to watch part of my coaching sessions. So, if you want to buy one of those, link will be in the description below. Let's get right into it, shall we? First of all, when you guys do bug bounties, you might notice that there are different types of targets. We're going to focus mainly on the wide scope targets today. I'm going to show you guys some more advanced tricks that I do. So first of all, let's start with, do I need a virtual private server? And in my opinion, yes, of course you do. I've made a video about that, but let's explain a little bit why in this video, because you will need a virtual private server in my opinion for doing wide scope recon. So let's say I have a very wide scope target. Of course, it all depends on automation for me there. You can do a lot manually, but due to the size of these targets, it's going to be a lot harder. So you will have a star.target dot star. There we go. So this is your scope, star.target.star. And then we need to look at our scope. What subdomains can we find? That's going to be our most important thing. So we'll do subdomain enumeration, and from that we'll get a list of subdomains. Now I do this with a bunch of tools. Subdomain enumeration all depends on what tools you use. Well, not particularly what tools, but more what sources those tools use. It's really important that you use as much sources as possible. And when I say sources, I mean when you do subdomain enumeration, what you're going to do is query all of these different sources like Yahoo, like Google. You're going to query Shodan. You're going to query all of these different sources, DNS servers. You're going to try to find as many subdomains as possible, and then you're going to list them all. Now, if we are listing all of these different subdomains, then we will find some that are invalid. So I'll also run HTTP probe on that. That will erase some of these subdomains. And then I'm left with a decent size list of subdomains. Now I basically have two things I can do with that. So first of all, I'll send that list over on to Aquatone. So Aquatone is a subdomain flyover tool which will basically make pictures of each of these subdomains, and I'll get a ton of pictures from that. So in the end, I am left with a bunch of pictures that will describe, there we go, all of these different subdomains, all of these home pages. And then I can have a look at my subdomains. I can see if there's any interesting target that I want to hunt on manually, that I want to do my methodology on. Besides that, I can also do a lot more automatic. So I'll set up my more automatic stuff, and then I'll move on from there to do this more manual stuff again. So something else we can do that's pretty automatic as well, and let me quickly erase this because that is not the right direction. There, well, crack it, there we go. Let's just move it over there then. Alright, so another thing that we can do is vulnerability scanning. You've probably all heard about Nikto. Nikto is a really good vulnerability scanner, but you also have things like Aquatone. And Aquatone, Aquatone, I mean Nuclei, of course. Nuclei is a tool by Project Discovery, and what it will do is it will scan every single subdomain for a list of vulnerabilities, and it will do that by executing a series of HTTP requests that you program into a template, and then it will execute them and check the results of those HTTP requests. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to also do, let's see here, there we go. We're going to run our next tool, which will be Nuclei. And Nuclei has a lot of built-in templates. So we're going to do the built-in templates. These are the community templates, also known as, and then we also have custom templates which we can write. And these are the most interesting ones, for me at least. Now, if I go and have a look at these built-in custom templates, a built-in template, I mean. What's going to happen is all of these different subdomains are going to get, so I have my subdomain, 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 and our nuclei is going to execute all of these requests, HTTP requests. We're going to first of all describe what nuclei needs to do in a YAML file, and then we're going to describe what that file needs to do. So first of all, we'll give it a name, we'll give it some metadata, then we're going to say, do we need a post request, do we need a get request, what type of request do we need? So for example, we'll name this file. This is just an example, by the way, guys. I would highly recommend that you look this up specifically, because the things in here are not going to be correct. It's only to visualize what I mean. So the name might be, for example, admin panel for Jira, and then some more information like version number, for example, 1.2, and some more other metadata in there. And then we get to the requests, which we will describe by the method that we need to execute. So this can be get, this can be post, this can be put, this can be delete, but it needs to be one of them. And then the endpoint, saying, for example, base URL, for the base URL, of course. And then I need to use the proper ending parentheses, and then slash Jira slash admin. And then we can also add a different call to this by saying, for example, administrator, and we can also add another call. We can add as much calls as we want by, for example, putting a capital A in there. And then we can chain this by putting another method in here and doing another request. And then we check the results. So this is the check, and in here we go status code 200, for example, to tell it what status code we've gained. And we can also tell it, for example, look in the text and look for the login. And then we can, for example, try default credentials on that login page if it's found. So as you can see, nuclei can be quite powerful, and these are the built-in templates. We have a lot of default ones, a lot of things that are already available for us to use, which will describe all of these different vulnerabilities, all of these different CVEs. And the good thing is there's going to be proof of concept available. Now, nuclei might produce some false positives. That's always possible. It's a really good tool, but as always, it's possible to produce some false positives. But as you can see, all of these template files are not that hard to adjust. We can easily do that ourselves. And if we do that, we can eliminate those false positives and even write our own templates. So then we have our specific template. That's going to be our piece over here. So this is going to be a specific template, another one, another one, another one. These will be the built-in templates. And then we also have these templates here, which we've written ourselves. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically check every single subdomain for every single type of vulnerability. We'll check all of them for each one. And this is our initial scan only. So this is only setting things up. And we'll find possibly quite a lot of false positives. That's possible. We might need to make some adjustments there. But after we've done that, we might find some real vulnerabilities, because we might have a list that's grown quite big of subdomains by now, especially if we have a giant target like Red Bull on Integrity. They have quite a lot of domains in there, and it really pays off to do this, to scan all of these subdomains for all of these vulnerabilities, but specifically to write your own templates. This is very important, because if we all use the same templates, we are all going to find the same vulnerabilities. And if you found a vulnerability, you can easily write a new template for that. And every time you write a new template, if we go on and we write a new one, for example, we will have a whole list of subdomains that we can scan that template with. So that's going to give us a whole new opportunity for vulnerabilities. That's one automatic action. Now we'll move over to the second one, because every time we add to our list of subdomains, we have this whole huge big list of things we can test it for. And we can easily expand our list by looking for a new target during our subdomain enumeration process again. And this can all take quite a while, as you can imagine. So that's why I would really recommend that you guys get a virtual private server. They're not expensive, you can keep them running, and it's going to serve you for more than just this purpose alone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is some wide scope methodology which you guys can apply for yourself, which is not overly bulky in my opinion. Of course, you can do a whole lot of other things in this, but this is, in my opinion, a pretty straightforward way of hunting. You'll have to design your own template, but it will do you a ton of good. If you guys are interested in these coaching sessions, because let me tell you guys, this was juicy, but the real meat is in the coaching sessions. You guys can find a link for those in the description below. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had a wonderful day and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye my amazing hacker family. I will see you in the next one. See you later.